Hi, Jatin. Jatin, did you get a chance to cover all the recordings or still not? Jatin and Maniar. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Jatin.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Yeah, there was a problem on my speaker, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. So let me go to the step by step. Anyone tried with that Jenkins assignment like installation, user management, then master slave architecture and the pipeline setup?
I have I have tried that, but unfortunately I'm failed on that. So whatever the commands I have using, I have pasted in the chat box. So
Mm-hmm.
request you to please go through, and if anything is mismatch, please let me know. So I'll be try to do that and get back to you shortly.
Okay. So after this session, today we will cover like I will show you one of the HTML page deployment on the EC2 servers. Okay. And then I will show you the ACS Fargate service which we missed in the AWS session. And then we can continue with this other Docker Terraform Kubernetes. And before that, I want to show you that once again that agent based slave server architecture, how we can add that one more time so you can just get the idea where which steps you are missing for the slave agent for this master. Okay, so now apart from Ganesh, any other ones tried? Because going forward, these tools are very important. So at least you should have a practice once. If you are already aware some during your existing practicals, so that will be fine. But if
And
it's not aware,
Namdev, I
yeah,
need to ask you one question. If, for example, I have a tool, means I have currently Windows are totally need to be on the Windows servers. We need to implement that things from the
agent.
agent.
Hmm.
So sometimes Windows 2019 agent is there, and sometimes 2012 agent is also there. So how we can define like that? It is only for that tagging process or what?
Yeah, whatever the agents you are adding in the servers, you need to label it properly, and that label you can add in this job configuration. Because we normally not add the like only Linux based agent. If there are any products where .NET base or any PowerShell, we need to execute that. So that in that case, we need to use that Windows Server as an agent. So we will see that once I will just finish this topic first. Okay.
Okay.
So what we can do is now, let me show here. Let's say this is our Jenkins master server. So now in the Jenkins servers, we need to configure the pipeline, right? So for this deployments, I'm not going to add any slave servers here. Okay, we already covered that slave. And then in the pipeline configuration, before pipeline configuration, okay, so we need to install one plugins. As you know, Jenkins is a plugins base, so not every features by default not available in the Jenkins. So sometimes we need to add the additional plugins. So here we can add the SSH based plugins for the SSH based deployment. Like in this case, we are going to deploy HTML pages on the EC2 servers. Okay. And the login method which we are using as a SSH key file here. Okay. So this is the one case. In future going forward, we will see about the how to deploy with the Docker container or ECS Fargate service. Okay. So for now, just stick with this SSH based authentication and the deployments. Okay. You have a normal EC2 servers where you need to connect for make a connectivity from your Jenkins master server to your EC2 servers. Okay. And then in the configuration, I will show you that configuration. Then during the job setup, we need to define this that where this code should be deployed. Okay. To summarize this, first, let's say we have a Jenkins master server. In Jenkins master, we need to first install the plugins, which is SSH base. I will show you that plugin name. Then in the configuration, we need to add the server by options like SSH, where we need to attach the key pair file, our private files. Okay, because in AWS we have a by default login method mechanism is a key based authentication, not the server username and password. Once this setup done, then we can configure one pipeline in the Jenkins. In that pipeline, we can give the instruction like add these servers, and from this XYZ repository, just deploy this code. Okay. Any doubts in this? I will show you that each steps how we can do that. So the motto is we need to deploy one PHP based or HTML based applications on our EC2 servers. That is the agenda. Okay, no doubts. Then we can see this options now. So I will show you step by step. So first go to your Jenkins master server. Okay. So meantime, what I can do is I can just create the one server. So it's take 2-3 minutes. First go to your, let's say, if you have any existing servers, then that will be fine. You need to just use that key pair file in the Jenkins, okay, to make a connectivity from the Jenkins masters to your servers, web server. As in this case, this is the servers which I practiced yesterday, but now I can create one more new one so I can show you, and you will get the idea like which steps you need to follow for this practice. First, launch one server. Let me give the name like demo EC2 web server. Okay. And just select your Amazon Linux or Ubuntu. It's up to you. Then your T2 microservers. Key pair here, you need to give the PEM file, okay? Because our Jenkins install on the Linux based servers, and that will be support only PEM file. So just click on this and create the new key pair like demo EC2 web server, okay? Just select the format PEM file, not the PPK, because it has a different format and that will not support in the Linux. So use PEM file and just create it. Okay, the key will automatically download. Now coming back to this network settings, just select your VPC as we use demo DevOps VPC and public subnet. Now security group files we have already created last time, so we can use that demo EC2 Linux security group, and rest of the things are default. Just launch it. This is the web server we are creating. Okay, not the Jenkins slave. So let me filter it out like demo EC2 web. Okay, it will take some time. So meantime, what we can do is first step you have done, you have created your web server. Okay. Then second, in your Jenkins master servers, come to this manage Jenkins. Then plugins. Here, go to available plugins option and search SSH. So you will get lots of plugins there. So you don't need to install each SSH based plugins here. Or what you can do is because SSH plugins I have already installed, so that's why he's not showing that option. So I will show you that install SSH plugins which I have installed. But in your case, you will get in this available plugins. Okay, I have already installed, so that's why he's not showing there. This plugin name, publish over SSH, send build artifacts over SSH. Okay, this plugin should be installed. If I copy this name, or if you want more details about these plugins, you can open these plugins in the new tab, and you will get the all the details what the plugins about is and how it works. Okay, so publish over
So
SSH.
this
This is the
plugins is usable for SSH based connections only, or what?
only not for the SSH base, but it's only for the sorry. Apart from that, it will help to deploy your build your application code for the SSH based connection.
Okay.
So once that is installed, let me mention here. And then configure GeoOps. Okay. So now next step is we have installed the plugins, we have created this web servers. Now we can add this server in the Jenkins master servers. Okay. So then come back to this dashboard, manage Jenkins, your system option. Okay. System configuration. Just scroll down. So after install that plugins SSH, we will see get that option SSH here. Okay. Just scroll down a little bit. Oh, the best option is like to find here SSH. Okay. You will get that publish over SSH, and one more time SSH servers. Okay. If you don't find this in that case, what you can do is go back. Let me check SSH based plugins which I have installed. If I go to install plugins and let me search SSH, SSH agent I have installed during that practice. SSH agent plugins. This one SSH servers. Okay, so these plugins you can add if you're not able to see that option in your case. Okay, so I am just mentioning here as well. And then once you come to this manage encryption system, you will see this option here, SSH servers. Okay, so this is the servers which I had done the practice yesterday by adding this one servers. So I will show you how you can add the more servers. Okay, so here you will get the options add. Just click on that. Here you can give the name like a web server in front of that, like demo web server. Okay, then under host name you need to give the IP address. So how you can get the IP address? Let's go to the AWS console. Just refresh it, and this server you can give this public IP address. Just paste here. Okay, now username means your when this Linux server username which we have used EC2 sorry Amazon Linux. So what will be the username? EC2 user. If you are practicing for the Ubuntu base, then you need to add the Ubuntu username here. Okay. Now we can add this remote directory where actual deployments will happen. Okay. In some cases, like here, I'm installing the HTTP package. That's why, which is the Apache. That's why this is the default document route for that. Okay, for the Apache. But in Nginx case, you will get the document route like USR share Nginx HTML. So that location you need to give here. Okay, is that clear? Anyone tried on the Linux installing the web servers and deployed in the normal cases, not by the Jenkins, in the real time or practice?
No. But thing is that here we want to just define that's remote directory only.
Yeah, where this application code will be deployed. So that remote directory should be, we need to add here. So
Okay,
whenever this
means
pipeline triggered, so that application code, let's say we are using the application repository for here, demo DevOps repository, which we have created last time. So this repository code, which you can consider as your application code, these codes will be deployed on this that location, this one, where www.html. So that path you need to mention here. Okay. Now come to this advanced option, just expand it. Here you will get the options like use a password authentication or use a different key. Okay, just enable that checkbox and here you will get the options path to key or copy paste the key here. Okay, so path to the key means what? If you don't want to paste PEM file content here like this content, we have downloaded so another one, right? Let me open that. This one, demo DevOps EC2 web servers. So two methods are there to connecting your target web server. Either you can copy this private key content into this configuration, okay? Or the second option we have like in Jenkins master servers. Let me connect the Jenkins master server. This is your Jenkins master server. Just load it and open. Let's say the default Jenkins home is var dev, sorry, var lib Jenkins. Okay, if you create here, you can create the one more additional directory like this and get your keys. Okay, and in this location you can store your private key, private file by giving the name like this, like a web server dot pem. Okay, and you can paste the content here. So in this case, you don't need to paste the content here. So two options is you have. It's depend on you how you want to mention the password here. Okay. So I'm just showing here this content. Otherwise, you can just copy this path and just this way. And what we have given the file name web server.pem. Okay, just like this. Okay, either you can use this method or you can simply copy paste here. Okay, so I can just remove this one. You got this one, right? How we can connect our web servers from the Jenkins. This is the method. We need to give the user host name. Host name means your IP address, your username, and your remote directory where you want to deploy on which location on the target servers, and then login method. Okay, in this case, we don't have username password. So in AWS cases, we have a key-based authentication system. So that's why we need to provide the private key here. Okay, once that is done, you can just port number it will automatically take. Just we need to test the connection. Okay, just click on this. If everything goes well, you will get a success message. Otherwise, you are able to see this option. Okay, failed to connect and initialize SSH connection. Why? Because the remote directory where www.html and the username, we will see the permission it has permission or not. Okay, so I'm logging out from the Jenkins master server and log into that remote server which we have created, web server. Okay, if anyone has any confusion, like just let me know. I can just make more slower or clear. Okay, because we are trying to connect multiple servers here, so don't confuse with that. So now we are going to connect on your master, sorry, target server where we want to deploy your web applications. Okay, so as you have seen during the test button, it's giving the error like failed to change the directory via www.html, because the server which we have added, this one, which one? This web server which we have created recently, this username EC2 user doesn't have a permission on this folder, HTML folder. Okay, so that's the reason he giving the issues. So we need to assign the ownership here. So that is the reason as a DevOps engineer, we should know about the Linux part. Okay, so because we don't know somewhere we when the opportunity will get and the task. So that is the reason in the DevOps scenario, we need to learn the multiple tools, which is the at least basic requirement. Okay, so let's log into this web server, this one. So I can directly connect from here. Just connect it. Connect. Okay, we are on the web server now. Let's go to that location where okay. So we need to add one more step here. Let me cover that. We have installed the plugins, created the servers, add SSH, configure Jenkins jobs. But before that, when we create the servers, just install web server. Okay, it might be your HTTP base or Nginx base. It's up to you. Okay, that step you need to perform. Now missing part we can install here just by a single command like yum install. Is font visible? HTTPD. Okay, so it will give the installation page and just confirm it. So once service has been installed for the HTTPD, just do systemctl. You can check the status first. HTTPD. You can see it's by default not started. And we can simply start it. Systemctl start HTTPD. Okay. If I check the status one more time, you can see status is active and it's running. Okay. So now we will get that folder. Let's go to that where www. Okay, and just do ls here. You can see HTML folder which has root ownership. Okay, by default. So let's change the ownership. Can anyone tell me the command how to change the ownership to EC2 user?
chown
We have seen in the Linux session.
chown
HON. Okay, -r for the recursive and EC2 -user. Okay, and folder name. So why we are adding R here inside the HTML folder subdirectory, that also will impact applicable. Okay. If I check now, you can see the ownership has been changed. If I try to test now, let's see on the Jenkins master server. Let's see. So that issue has been resolved. So you need to remember these steps when you try to practice. Okay. So success means we can now configure the jobs and that job will perform properly. Okay. So after this, just you can just save these jobs.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So could you please explain that CHO you command?
CH1 command is just where it goes. Just change ownership. So change ownership. Hyphen R means inside the HTML folder, there might be multiple subdirectories like any your app folders, your web folders, or inside that. Inside web folders, you might have multiple files. So that also get reflected as the ownership. If I go to HTML, you can see there are no files available as of now. Okay. So let me deploy here. So I will show you that. For temporary, I can create one more folder here. Let's say test, for example. Okay. In test, what you can see root user. Okay. Inside test, let's create the any dummy files or folders. Touch test 123 mkdir demo folder. Inside demo folder, we can create one more files. Okay. So what will happen? So I am in the root now. Okay. So I have created this test folder. If I check the ownership, we can see by default root because I am creating from the root user. Inside that, you can see the options. A main test folder is a parent folder. Okay. And the child folder, which you can see demo folders and test files, which has root user as a ownership. If you check child folder, demo folder, and that files, that also has the ownership of the root. Okay. Under slash root test demo folder. Okay. In that files, you can see root as a ownership. If I want to change ownership now without adding the R, let's see what will happen. EC2 user. Okay. If I check inside test folder, see what will happen. Are you getting now? So if you don't add the hyphen R option, so recursively that ownership which we are trying to apply for the main folder, parent folder, test folder. So that will be only applicable for the test, not the subdirectories. If you don't add hyphen R, if you add hyphen R, it will recursively add permissions ownership for the subfolders, and in that whatever the files are available. Okay. So that is the reason we add ownership hyphen R here. If I try to execute that command once more time with the hyphen R option. Okay. So now let's see in the test. See, ownership has been changed. So that is the difference. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Got it.
So now coming to the Jenkins masters, any other doubts? Anyone? How to like adding the servers in the Jenkins master?
Request to please share the steps so we can trial like that. Because
Yeah,
thing is that
definitely. I am just adding the steps here one by one. Even if you get somewhere stuck, you can just go through the video as well for the steps
I
configuration
have
setting.
checked that videos also, but it will be not working.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the commands I have tried yesterday, I just shared that commands to you.
Okay, I will check. So let's do that. So now let's configure the jobs here for that server. I will open the duplicate session here in the new tab. So this is the job where I configured yesterday. If I open here, new one, just give the name like demo web EC2 web server. Okay, select the freestyle project and click on OK. Here you can just set up this discard old build like for 5 or something, whatever you want. Then here source code management, you can just select the branch name, which we have configured the webhooks here, right? Last time. Webhooks automatically it will work. So how we can use this? From the code, you can just get this HTTP based URL and just add here. Branch name credentials you need to select from here for the GitHub repository for the authentication. And under this master branch, we don't have master branch, we have a main branch here. So you can just add here and just scroll down a little bit. You can select this option here, build triggers, okay? Because whatever the changes we will do in the Git repository, this branch, so it will automatically trigger because we have already set up the webhook integration for this branch. If you remember last time, right? This one. And just scroll down a little bit. Here you will get that option under the build steps. Click on this and just scroll down a little bit. You will see that option send files or execute commands over SSH. Okay, just select this option here and you will get this SSH server list. From the list, you can select your servers. Okay, which servers you have added. So that is the reason label is very important. So to identify the servers on which servers you want to deploy. Okay, so Web Linux is the existing one which I had done the practice. This is the demo server, right? We have just added. If you're not sure, you can just go back and just dashboards, manage Jenkins, go to your system. Either you can just scroll down a little bit or you can just control F, control find and add SSH keywords. Okay, you will get directly to there. This is the recently one which we have added demo web servers. Okay, if you want to confirm once again, you can see the IP address 30.7. Let's verify that as well. Yes, 30.7. Okay, this one. So we have selected the right servers here in the list. And here the source data files, you need to give the 2 star, which is considered as a folders and sub files. Okay, folders means if I go to this repository, this one. So whatever the files are available in that and whatever the subfolders and the files available, okay, it will take that as a source. If you want to perform any command executions like restarting the service on the target server, so you can add that command as well here. Okay, it's up to you. For now, I can just skip that part, but command you can add whatever the command like mkdir or something, whatever you want to create. If you have any such a situation there during the build steps. Now under remote directory, you can add the remote directory here where HTML, okay, where this repository application code will deploy. Okay. Then post build action. In the post build action, we have a email notification system which we have configured last time. So whenever the jobs either fail or success, that notification should be triggered to respective folks, okay, in your team members. So we can add that email address here, just expand it, and you will get that option, editable email notification, okay, which we have added last time during the practice. So project recipient list, default recipient list. So which we have added last time, right? Email notification in the system configuration. One email address I have mentioned like namdev.it@gmail.com. If you don't add any additional email here, that will automatically send email to that configuration email address which we have configured in the system configuration last time. If you remember how we can add more email address, you can see the description here. comma separated list of the email address. Okay. So let me give the comma and add one more email address here. Support at DevOps.com. Okay. And you can add many more, whatever the email address you want to as add here. Okay. Just scroll down a little bit. Attach build a log. So whatever the whenever the jobs execute, we can see the console output, right? So that entire logs it will attach for this notification over the email address. Okay. That is the option you can add and just expand this advanced setting. Here you can set up the trigger type options. Like this email notification you can trigger only if there are any failures or something. But in this case, we want always like either fail or success of this plugin pipeline that email alert should be triggered. Okay. You can see lots of option here. The say alert trigger type. So I keep always and just remove this developer list only recipient list which we have added on the top. Okay, here this one and just save it. Either you can trigger manually now this pipeline. So let's see. If you open this pipeline, you can see all the options here, whatever the logs available, and these logs, whatever the logs are, you can see here that will attach as a build log in your email address. Okay, which we have configured for the email notification. Now we can go to that remote servers and check that file has been deployed or not. See, this kind of mail we will get. Your build number one, and the job status successful or not, and the attachment. You can see the attachment here, build.log. Okay. If I open, let's say, I will see the all the logs here, which we are able to see from here Jenkins master servers. Okay. Because in the real-time cases, there are only few people have access of the Jenkins servers. You might in that case your manager doesn't have access of the servers, and if you want to check your build log, so he can get the email notification over there from his email address. He can check the logs. Okay, if you want, or any other developers want to check any failure message or success message like that. Okay, and then let's go to our target server, which is the web server. Which remote location we have mentioned, where www and HTML, right? Okay, why this happen? Let me check the configuration because under where www.html he created one more file structure. Let me delete this. There might be some issues in the configuration. Let me check. Or I can remove here because we have already added the remote location when we configure these servers, right? Let me remove this remote directory because when we add SSH servers, we have added there. Let me save it. Let's build it now. You can see the status immediately because we don't have too much file here. In real-time cases, if there are multiple files available in the MB, so it might take a little bit time to get the deployments. Okay. So you can see transferred 4 files. Okay. Let's go to this location once more time. Where www.html. Okay. Yeah. So now it's properly deployed. So whatever the files we are able to see here, that available on the this file. Okay. Demo folder, readme file, and this webhook jobs like that. Now, if you have a IP address of the servers, let's try to heat. Let me check the permission. Okay. Let's go to the security configuration and let me check one more time. The 80 port is already open, so we didn't need to add. We don't need to open that port one more time. Okay, which is already open. Can anyone try this IP address from his mobile or desktop? Because last time also I faced this issue, right? IP blocking on my network. So I want to confirm that.
Just a minute, I will check.
For the HTTPS or what?
No, no, only say normal HTTP, not HTTPS.
Yeah, it will be working.
Working, eh?
Yes.
I think it's blocking on my network. So last time also I faced the same issue. What is the coming output?
Hello world, welcome to Jenkins deployment.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is
it's
working for
blocking
me.
my network. Don't know why this IP address are get blocking. Okay, it's coming HTTPS. Let me remove it because on this certificate we don't have any SSL certificates, so we don't need to add unnecessary. Yeah, it's coming now. I think here as well it's taking HTTPS by default. Okay, that's why. Yes. Hello world, welcome to Jenkins deployment. Okay, because in this configuration, our index.html, we have that sample file. Hello world and welcome to Jenkins. Okay, if I try to edit here, let's say I'm doing one more changes for my website. Instead of Jenkins deployment, if I remove this and add the keyword like welcome to, let's say, CI/CD world. Okay, let me commit these changes. These changes I'm committing on my repository. But once commit gets pushed, it will automatically trigger the pipeline. Why? Because we have added the webhook integration. And the role of webhook integration is immediately once he detect the changes, commit, he will start your pipeline, okay? Which we have already configured last time. If you remember, if I refresh now, you can see build number 3 automatically triggered. If I open this now, you can see the output. And let me check the latest code. See, welcome to CI/CD world. So this is the process like any normal applications we can deploy on the EC2 servers. So any doubts in this entire process? Steps wise, don't worry. I will add here as I have already covered this 4 or 5 steps. So as a developer, I will not touch the pipeline now because it's automatically configured. Let's say this is just for the one environment, okay? Not for the your test or production environment. This is just for the you can consider as a dev environment. So for the test and production environment, you don't need to enable that webhook integration for that. You need to keep always manual option, okay? Because unnecessary if someone developer push his changes, so why we need to deploy automatically on the production servers? If any bugs are there, so it will automatically deployed and we will be in trouble. So production system we can keep as a manual there, okay? Even in the real time also, only till the dev environment and the test sometimes test environment, we will trigger the pipeline automatically. But later as a production environment, we will not trigger automatically, okay? We will keep in the configuration file as a manual and we need to press that button, okay? Manual button, then it will start the pipeline for the production environment. Uh, Anyone any doubts? So you will get the alerts like this, build number and the status. This is very simple pipeline, okay? But in going forward, we will see the advanced one, like where the sonar cube integrated and the multiple stages will be there, okay? So let me try to fail this job just by adding the any random number here because he will not fetch this repository. I want to show you the status of this failure message. If I build it now, let's see. So failed build you can see like this in, in red color, and you can see the error message here. Error fetching remote or repo origin. Failed to fetch from blah blah blah. Okay. So based on the error, you can troubleshoot like what is the missing. So you can just get this kind of error. Okay. So troubleshooting skills should we have like as we have seen yesterday, one of our users are facing the issue in the load balancer with the health checks. So that has been fixed. So you will get number of troubleshootings when you are working on the actual project. So in that case, at least see everyone is not perfect in the IT industry, but sometimes we need to open-minded for the troubleshooting the skill any issues. So what we can do is like you can just copy this error like this and just search on the internet or you can use any AI tools, black box or chat GPT something. So at least you will get the idea. Okay. So this is the way like how you learn going forward or the troubleshooting point of view. And once you know this kind of issues face, so in the next time when you face this kind of issues, you know like very quickly like yeah this is might be a configuration issues. You can easily identify. If I remove those 1, 2, 3, okay, and build it now. Okay, it's success. An email will be triggered. If you use these options, build periodically or poll let's say I'm just removing this GitHub. options here, and let me add the schedule option. So every 1 minute, he will automatically detect the changes and he will start the deployment. Let's say every 15 minutes, perhaps like this. So what I can do is I can just copy this example, paste here. I want to check the deployment code changes in every 2 minutes, for example. Okay. This is the example how you can set up with the poll ACM, and you can just save it. If I do the changes now in our repository by changing this word like welcome to poll SCM, okay, and just do the commit. We have added the changes now. It's a 10.3. Let's go to this job and let's see the status. Okay, last job is 5, build number. So you can see it's not trigger immediately because webhook works as a real time. Once the Git repository detect any commit changes, he will webhook will start pipeline immediately. Okay, which is the real time. But in the poll SCM, which we have seen, poll SCM will build periodically. It takes some time because it's a cron-based execution. So we have configured to detect the changes for every 2 minutes if you in the jobs, right? So we can wait for 2 minutes and it will start that build automatically. We have pushed on the 10.3. See, okay. Is that clear now? The difference between a webhook and a Polasium? And immediately you will get the alerts like your build status, build number 6 and their status, successful or failure. So before moving forward to the another topic, so is there any doubts, anyone?
So how do we
Yeah.
configure these logs for all team members to see the logs?
For the email,
Yes. Is it just email alone or we have
so in the pipeline, if I go to the configure option, just scroll down a little bit and see that option like in behind that inside build post build actions. Okay, post build action, you will see this option editable email notification. So and in that case you will see this attach build log. By default it's an do not attach build logs. Okay, so if you want to send the logs to the email address, you can see you need to option attach this option, select attach build log, or you can just make it a compress and attach, so it will send as a zip file. Okay, so let's try that. So this is the option where you can just inside the post build action you can add that how you can send the logs to the email address. So I will show you that option as well. Let's compress and attach. Just save it. If I trigger the build now, let's see. Now it should be in the zip format. As of now, you can see it's a normal text file like log file. If I see now, you can see it will be compressed and come in the zip file. Okay. If I change that to do not attach build log, so let's see. It will send the email, but will not attach any build log. Just scroll down a little bit on the, or you can directly jump to this post build action here and come to that option. Do not attach build log. Okay, and just save it. If I trigger the build now, build number 8 will be generated here. And let's see the email address.
Okay. Can we send it to multiple users or just for individuals?
You can add multiple. You can see now there is
Okay.
no attachment,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So this is the way you can configure that. If
Okay.
you want to add multiple users in configuration, you can just give the comma separated and add the multiple
The
options
email.
here.
All right. Thank you.
Here, recipient list. Just give the comma
Okay.
and add multiple email address.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Okay. So Ganesh, do you want me to see that agent-based configuration?
Yes.
Okay. So let me do that. So I can stop this my practice servers. So because unnecessary, it will generate the bill. In your case, once you're done with your practice, you can just remove those servers. Okay, we can consider this as a slave server. Just copy the public IP address. Okay, or I can rename it Jenkins slave. Okay, and I can search to filter it out Jenkins. Okay, so unnecessary you will not see the other servers here. Okay, Jenkins master Jenkins servers. Just copy the public IP address of the Jenkins slave servers. Go to your Jenkins master, manage Jenkins, and scroll down. Just under node, you can click on this new node. Okay, and just give the node name here like Jenkins layer. Select. This is the example of permanent agent. On-demand agent concept will be different as I have shared one of the link last time, which will execute or create during the job execution. Just click on this create. You can set up number of executes parallel jobs, how much job you want to set up. Remote root directory, you can just set up like opt build, where this when the job execution from the slave service, that build logs or files will be stored here. Okay, opt build.
On this files also we require the permissions on that whatever the build is execute the jobs.
He will create automatically. If in this case, like any he is not able to create, in that case you can just create manually and just give the permission. But by default it will create. So let's see.
Whatever the users are there, the same user is also required.
Yeah, in this case we are adding the Amazon Linux as a slave servers. So we will use AC2 hyphen user.
Okay,
Then
understand.
Jenkins slave here. Okay. Usage keep as much as okay. So whatever the launch method, we have last time seen both way agent base and SSH. So now I can show you with this agent by connecting to the controller. So let's go to that method and just
And what
click
is that
on.
availability? What is that availability? Keep agent as possible. Bring this agent online according to the schedule and bring this demand.
So here you can set up the schedules like when you want to execute these jobs. You can see the example like this. So in that case, that job will activate. one more option is bring this agent online when in demand, like, and take offline when ideal. So these two things you can just do practicals, like how it works. Okay, but normally when we do this, we use it keep this agent online as much as possible. But the remaining two options you can just explore that. If I search here, you can see the description like this is for the periodically scheduled task where let's say we are going to deploy for 10 a.m. every day. So in before that, this job will be node will be activate for this job execution. So practical you can just try how it works. Okay. And this is for the on demand when we require this job they need to be triggered and remaining time it will be a ideal. In this ideal case, it will be a shutdown or not. I'm not sure. We need to check this practically. Okay. Or when I get the time today or tomorrow, I will just test this and I will let you know in the next class session. Okay.
Okay.
So once this node added, you can just click on that and you will see the command here. Okay. Just copy this command. Just go to your Jenkins master server and just execute it. So this command might get additional space. So what you can do is, as a better option, just copy paste here on the notepad and then copy complete line. Okay.
These commands we need to execute on the master server only.
Either you can try from the master server or you can try from the slave server as well. From the both side, it will work.
Because thing is that we have trying with the slave server only, but it will be not working.
Okay. In this case, you can see the remote location, the OPT build is not, it's getting issue. So let's go to our remote server and add that permission on the slave servers.
So now by running these commands, what we are doing, we are adding the slave server into the masters.
Yeah, right. These are the launch method. Either you can use SSH base or this agent based command.
Okay.
The key pair for this is okay. For this newly created servers, I think we have generated the PEM file, not the PPK file. So how we can convert this PEM file to PPK file now? Anyone tried before? Because for this web server, which we recently used for the deployment, we use key pair. You can see here. DevOps demo web server. DevOps web server. This one, okay. This is the PEM file, but in this putty, it will not support. So how we can convert it into PPK? Just right click here, or you can just search puttigen, okay. Run puttigen. Puttigen will help out to convert the files from PEM file to PPK. Just once open that application, then you can just load it here. Go to your target, like a download folder. and just search here all files. You will see this DevOps demo web server. Just open it. Okay, just click on OK. Now save to private key. You can just add the name like DevOps demo EC2. Okay, like this. DevOps demo. Now you can add that. Now you can connect. Just copy this public IP address. Open your putty. Add the key pair which we have converted. Demo DevOps demo. And just go to your data option here. Add username. This is the EC2-user. And in the appearance, I am just changing the font size. So it will be a better visibility. 14 and just click on OK and open it. Okay. So this is our Jenkins slave servers. So let's see that option is folder is created or not. It's not created, so you can just simply create it. Build. Okay, permission denied. So I can use sudo here. Now check the ownership. For the build folder, it's a root user, so you can just change it by adding the sudo command. Either you can add this sudo command or just either one time you can just switch user sudo su. So every time you don't need to add the sudo. Okay. So now just change it. ch-on -r username like EC2 -user, or you can just give the dot here. Let's see. Build. Okay. And now let's check the permission. So you can see ownership has been changed for this build folder. Okay. If I go to my Jenkins master now and just run that command again. Okay. Permission rewrite execute. Let's see.
Triple seven.
Option. Yeah,
777.
777. Yeah, 777 will work, but the other of way is there. So now let's see. Okay. Let me try one more this option. Add user Jenkins. Okay. And let's give to this permission. Change on Jenkins build. Let me try one more time now. Let me check the steps which I'm missing. I think one more step is there. So let me check. Okay. Genesis Java package we have not added, right?
Namdev, try with the yum update first.
No, that package. Last time we add the slave server as a Ubuntu. That has a different step which we have added last time. This is the Amazon Linux now, so that package would be a different steps. We need to add that repository. Install Java 11 on Amazon Linux. Definitely, as a first step, we can just do that yum update. This repository we can add. So just one note here, might be you guys already aware or observe that. So whenever you any troubleshoot on the based on the Stack Overflow, so always remember if that has a green tick, that means it will helpful and resolve the many users issues. Okay, whenever you see that green tick. For any agent, we need to, as the first prerequisites, we need to install the Java. So we forget that last. Last time I given the steps for the Ubuntu. Okay, so this is for we are doing for the Linux CentOS base. Now check the version. You can see the Java has been installed. So let's try one more time. So let me try to create the folder here as well. It's already there. Okay, let me do one more thing. Keypair we have already available now with this DevOps demo web server. So I will not create new one now. Network setting, security groups, we can use existing one and just launch it. Okay, just get this IP address for this Ubuntu server and just go to Jenkins. Let's edit this configuration, or you can simply delete it. Jenkins slave Ubuntu. Labels you can give here. Jenkins slave. Launch method control. And just let me try to execute this command now. Go to Jenkins master. I'm just removing the existing file, okay? Agent one. Okay, so there might be different steps for the Amazon Linux. So I need to figure out. But in the Ubuntu base, there is a simple thing. As you can see now, without any more troubleshootings, it's properly working, right? So now you can see the status. In sync means it's properly activated.
So
And
in
you have
Amazon,
used
Namdev, in Ubuntu, we don't require to install the Jenkins. Sorry, Java files.
Java, we need to install everywhere, like wherever the agent you
Okay.
can install. So I just skip that part, but you can just install that because
Okay.
without that, it's no, it will not work. So I just connected only the agent here, but to execute your job, you need to install the Java. So this simple command you can execute that, which we have last time seen. This one.
Understand, Namdev.
Okay.
And I have tried with that Ubuntu only. Sorry, Amazon Linux only. I'll be try by today if I get a time. So I'll be try on the Ubuntu and I'll be get back to you.
Yeah,
If
that
anything
might be
is.
the reason you are facing the issue which we have seen now.
Yes,
So there
yes,
might be some
yes.
additional commands we need to execute. I will figure it out. But for Ubuntu, you can just get it quickly. Because if
Yes,
you
not
compare
an
the
issue.
CentOS and the Ubuntu has more features than the CentOS, like the repository and the updated package, which we don't need to do lots of troubleshooting there to install any packages. So you can try with this command for this your Ubuntu based system. So it will work.
Okay.
So more advanced pipeline we will see going forward after the all the topics completed, because I want to set up that sonar cube as well. So we'll see later. So any other questions, anyone?
Namda, there is one question from my side. If, for example, our Git, we have created some changes in the Git. Unfortunately, my changes has been deleted. Okay, so how we can recover that changes?
So
Is
first,
there
as
any
a first
backup systems are there?
let's say you have a first commit, you have done your changes, you have pushed your commit changes on your branch, okay. But after that, your any files or something deleted, right, on your local.
For example, whatever the how I can define that scenario also is there, and sometimes also my commit is not done, because thing is that it will be commits are available in my local systems. Okay, whatever the first changes are there. Okay, due to the sometimes my laptop or desktop it is getting crashed, it will be giving the blue dumps, and that changes also not find on that laptop also.
If anything happen with your local system, so definitely it's very troubles. But in a remote location and the remote branch, we will have a code commit history where you can file your commit, whatever the committed changes, like let's say where you can find in this option. Anyone able to see that commit option anywhere? Here you can see 21 commits. Okay, if you can click on that, so whenever you add any files, any changes, so that is the benefits of this GitHub, okay, version control system. So it will maintain all your changes in the separate structure. So let's say we have this file here, we have just added this commit when 11 hours ago, for example. Okay, if I click on this commit ID, so whatever the changes or file I have in that case, so I will get from here.
Okay.
So a repository will maintain your git commit history. So from there you can just download that file.
Okay.
See,
And
this
for
is
that changes,
this is
it
your
will be
commit
taking some
ID.
spaces or other things.
Sorry,
It will be taking some space.
that will store on your remote location. Let's say if you use their enterprise license, so they will that will store on their servers from the backend.
Okay.
If you install on your local machine, so definitely it will consume that space. But that is the benefit of this using this repository. So even if this kind of situation you get, like deleting any files from your local machine and which you already pushed on your somewhere in your repository, so that from there you can just find out that commit ID or your commit message. So from there you can get these changes. This is the
Okay.
commit
Thank you,
ID.
Namdev.
Yeah. And you might get the question one more in the gate. What is the difference between branches and the gates? Sorry, tags. Tags is similar to your branch, the piece of code, but the limitation is in the tags you cannot modify any changes. That is only read-only state. But in branches, as we have seen, we can do multiple changes, removal of any files, addition of the files. But in tag, it's a read-only file only. Read-only, you can consider as a branch, for example. So content will be there, but you cannot modify it. So sometimes people use as a tag-based release for the any production deployment. So they create the tag like V1, V2, something like that, and they do the deployments. But the limitation is you cannot modify any changes in that in tags. So this action option we will see later. There are lots of options, so I need to explore to set up the complete workflow. In real time, we use as a YAML file, CI/CD YAML file. So where you can add the stages like test, build, and the deployment for the dev, test, production, and where you can add the your let's say for the Node.js based applications, you can add the npm install command like that, and you can just do the other configuration there. Stages we need to add basically. So we will see in the advanced section. Okay. Let me remove this server, slave server. Okay. Jenkins slave, Jenkins Ubuntu. Terminate. See, Jenkins also is very vast. You can do lots of deployment there, like any Lambda function, any Elastic Beanstalk deployment, or any other deployments from there, like ECS container or Fargate. So there are multiple plugins available in your Jenkins. If you go to your Manage Jenkins option, so for practice, you can explore more options. If you go to your plugins and you can just search any plugins you want, like let's say Beanstalk. Just go to here available plugins and just search Beanstalk. I think last time, yeah, this one, the Amazon Beanstalk publishers. Okay. So based on plugins, you can just do installation and just configuration. So Jenkins support multiple plugins there. Okay, I have terminated the servers. So this server also I terminated. So I have this session like the topic ECS and event bridge. I want to show this. So should we cover today or tomorrow? Because this will take them some time. I'm planning to take tomorrow, and then after that we can just start with the Docker. This is the AWS service, Elastic Container Service, which in the AWS. So normally people use Fargate because it has two options. Either as a customer you manage yourself or use their managed service, which is called as a Fargate service in the AWS itself. Okay, AWS Fargate service where you can launch uh, Linux-based container there. So I want to show you that practically. So can we do this tomorrow? So I have covered all the relevant topics here to show you because this container-based applications use most of the time after the Kubernetes. Okay, so that's why I just thought like let's show you tomorrow this topic as well, event bridge and your container service.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at least till now, whatever the topic is pending, just try to cover those practicals, and if you get any issues, just let me know so we can figure it out on the time. Because going forward, we will get more. We need to invest more times because they are the very vast topic like Kubernetes, Terraform, and the other Grafana monitoring tools, right? So that's the reason I'm just forcing you again and again. Just whatever the practicals are pending, just get it done on the time so you can focus on the upcoming sessions.
Namdev, here I need to ask one question.
Hmm.
Can we directly add the AWS console in the Jenkins? Hold the AWS console in the Jenkins for the
No,
EC2 users?
console likes the graphical. We are just seeing this.
I'm just
Whatever.
asking this type of offline session because thing is that I don't know about that. but I need to ask one question regarding the same.
Console means what? The like graphical, you from the Jenkins, you want to manage the resources.
Yes.
So console base you cannot manage, but resources like access key and secret key, you can just integrate with this plugins base in the Jenkins, and from there you can just create the, let's say if you want to create any resource, S3 bucket, EC2 servers, or Elastic Beanstalk deployment, you can do that. Lambda function deployment like that. If you're expecting authentication mechanism like a single sign-on, SSO, that for that you can use different mechanism.
Okay.
That is part of the SSO.
Hmm.
Just remind me that as well at the end of the our batch. So I want to figure it out that as well, because these are the real-time scenarios where company use, instead of creating the users one by one for the everyone in the organization, every organization use authentication mechanism SSO, single sign-on. So they might use
Okay.
sometimes Active Directory or any other paid one tools.
Hmm. Hmm. And other thing is that if you have any kind of this type of videos are there, if on the net you will find it, so share that, so it will be easier for us also.
For the SSO,
SSO also, and just like resources also possible, na, from the Jenkins.
yeah, you can create the resources. But for that, you need to like a similar way on the local, we use AWS CLI like that, right? So that integration you can just use. But that is not a proposed solution or a feasible solution. For that, you can use your Terraform, which company use to create the resources.
Okay, understand.
So can we have today's documents, how you install the Jenkins and all of that?
Reference URL.
Yeah, how you install the Jenkins. And we have the step-by-step tools.
Yeah,
you use.
I will add those.
All right, sir.
So on the top of that Terraform code, you can write down your Terraform code in that repository, and you can just trigger that, which we normally use in the code base, so that whatever the resource you want to create, that should be in the your Git repository, your Terraform code, and you can trigger that code to from the your pipeline, CI/CD pipeline.
So Namdev, I also have one question to which what Ganesh has asked. We can create resources through Jenkins, right? As you said. So backend where those resources will be hosted once created, like we create EC2 instances in the AWS environment platform, right? So
Yeah.
if we create any resources through Jenkins, so like where it will be deployed? Do we have
Let
to
me show.
mention? Yeah,
In
mention.
Jenkins, we have a plugins. Are you able to see my screen, or I just stop it?
No, not yet.
Let me open it. So in Jenkins, you will get that option. It is. See, as a best standard practice, your Terraform code should be in your Git repository, and that repository you can configure in the pipeline, and that you need to trigger. Okay, like multiple people use any GitHub Actions or Harness, Go CD pipeline, something. It's a similar tool. It's a Jenkins. But if you want to deploy or create any resources, like in the plugins, if I go to manage Jenkins and plugins, you will get one plugins there. Let me check. Credential. AWS credentials plugins allowing storing the AMI credentials within the Jenkins credentials. So you can use these plugins to create the access key and secret key for the storing. And then you can use your any scripting part in the Jenkins pipeline to launch your resources in an AWS account. So for which account you store the credentials here, access key and secret key, based on that, he will create the resources. Similarly, like from the AWS CLI, command line interface on the local machine, we create the command line resources, right? If I search AWS CLI or EC2 launch, anyone tried with this CLI options? So this way you can just launch it. AWS EC2 run instance, image ID, and the other options, you can just give pass here, subnet ID, VPC ID, security groups like that. This is the another options available in the AWS where you can mention the create the resources through the command line. Definitely console base you can create it, command line as well, the second option. And the third is like any infrastructure as a code, either your cloud formation template or your CDK or this Terraform or others available in the market, ISC. Is that clear?
Yes.
But as a real-time cases, we we will not use this CLI base. We use either your CDK code or Terraform code there. That your code will be hosted in your repository. Okay, let's say you are maintaining the folder structure in the Terraform main.tf, var.tf or something. So that will be in the build steps. That steps we need to trigger. Or we can run that Terraform commands. Because if you have a multiple team members, so giving everyone access on their local system, that will be not a possible. So that's why in the real time we use as a pipeline to deploy the resources in your target AWS accounts. So in that file, if I show you that CDK code, let me show you that because Terraform codes not handy now. I stored somewhere in the project files. So during the Terraform, I will show you that as well. But CDK I have handy. If you understand betterly on the Terraform or either CDK, you will definitely work either any one tools because the way of creating the resources, there might be some little bit changes, but at least codes, resource block or data block you will understand. This is the sample of this CDK code. So here you can see we can pass the account ID, your environment, account ID and your region where you want to create the resources. So he will pick from here. Sometimes in the real-time cases, people use cdk.json and they will just pass here on the as a variables like environment equal to dev test production and they given the account ID there. And if any variables they want to use, they can use there. So we will go deeply in the when we start actual Terraform. Okay. This is just a CDK format, how we can deploy resources on any particular account. You can see the account ID here. This is my personal. And under the leave folder, you will see that complete folder code to create that. This is the import statements where supported package we need to import. Okay, otherwise it will not work for the deployments. So you can see this is the getting the existing VPC, which I think last time I had shown this to creating the ingress rules for the SSH port number and creating the server security groups like that. Okay, so going forward, we will cover step by step. But at the real-time cases, we store this
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hi. I think there's some issue on the side. I'm also not able to see.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, let me ping him.
Okay.
Hello. Then there is an power failure from Namdev's end. So he had just updated on group that we will continue tomorrow. Okay, then we can wind up.